That breath is something very important because as I have taught over the years, it is impossible for you to breathe in the future. And you cannot breathe in the past. So when you're conscious of your holy breath and your holy breathing, it's in the present. And the present creates a doorway to the eternal now, in which you step into a timeless, dimensionless space and have a great awareness of your oneness with the presence that is never an absence. It's not bound by time nor space, which is, of course, your true nature that you are seeking now to have a conscious at-one-ment with. You're already at one with this presence within your very self. That is your very self, but you're seeking to make it conscious. So when we hear Rumi saying what you're seeking is seeking you, you're hearing him iterate on multi-levels that the impulse within you that is seeking awakening is the awakened part of yourself seeking to come forward and express itself. You've already arrived. Therefore, when you get there, you discover that there is here all along with an expanded awareness that transcends time and space. So we welcome you into this space in which you are being aware right now. I want to present you to the truth right now that there are thousands upon thousands of you who are participating in this service all around the globe. And each individual represents a center in the mind of God, because the center is everywhere, where there's a conscious coherence around the fundamental truth that we're one with the Spirit of the living God. And so in substance, if you can remember that old song that says, God has the whole world in his hands, we have the whole world in our mind, in our heart, in our hands, all around the globe, connecting at the root in the presence of God and connecting with each other through time and space beyond externals, beyond personalities, beyond body types, beyond colors, beyond credos, beyond religions, beyond ethnicity, beyond sexual orientation. We're connected with each other at the very center of our being and embracing the entire planet, so that the world that God sees is having an entryway to express itself. Because the presence of God sent us, and we accepted the being sent to represent this presence as only we can, and to be in concert with individuals that are waking up to waking up. Waking up to waking up, being the game that we're playing on this planet. Not acquisition, not getting, not hoarding, but waking up to waking up. That right where we are is all of the power and all of the presence and all of the love, all of the joy, all of the abundance, and that we're here to circulate it and express it and manifest it and reveal the realm of ever-expanding good right here on earth, so that we're not playing the pie in the sky when you die religiosity. We're playing heaven on earth until earth becomes heaven, because we're here and we're awake and we're now. Therefore, when we hear the theme of the month, which is a problem or possibility, you choose the world you want to live in. We're increasingly becoming aware that those are two different worlds that people reside in. There are individuals who live in a world of problems and are seeking with their surface mind to figure out and to solve these problems. Or there are individuals that are living in a world of great possibilities, that we're surrounded by a field of possibilities, infinite potential, and we're seeking to live in that world because we've discovered that the word problem means emblem. It comes from the word emblem, I should say. And the problems and the issues that humanity is facing, or that we're facing on an individual level, is emblematic of states of consciousness, perceptions, beliefs, positionality, perspectives, opinions that have been projected onto the world's screen and come back to us as experience, until individuals actually believe that their experience is reality. Now, it is your limited use of reality and participation in reality, but that which is real is actually eternal, you see. And so when we understand that our problem is emblematic of something that is within us that needs to be resolved, needs to be dissolved, needs to be disintegrated, needs to be transmuted, we step into the field of great possibilities. That whenever there is something stymieing us, for a lack of a better word, but I don't even mind that word, It means that there's something within us that's trying to come forward in a very powerful way. There's an emergence of a possibility that is there. And that means with expanded awareness, the problem does dissolve. So we don't seek to solve a problem. We seek to have the problem dissolved in the infinite field of the mind heart of the infinite. So we don't say that God is a problem solver. We say in the mind of God there are no problems, and in God consciousness they dissolve. All of this has to do with your spiritual practice. All of this has to do with you working to elevate your awareness. This is called salvation, which means self-elevation. Elevating yourself to a higher point of view so that you see quite differently. And in that awareness, as we sneak into the topic, which is change your state, embrace your stage, now engage. It's a full awareness that we are all operating at states of consciousness, frequencies and vibrations, and that you are here literally, not only metaphorically, but literally to change your state of consciousness. And to change your state of consciousness regardless of the world of appearances, regardless of circumstances and situations, regardless of the feedback that you're getting through your sensorium. Your sensorium is your five senses. Regardless of the evidence that's being fed to you from the sensorium about lack, limitation, scarcity, not enoughness, fear, doubt, worry, dis-ease, disharmony, mental pollution, which is a greater pollution than even environmental pollution, the mental pollution that brings forth all of the other kinds of pollution, that we are to work in and upon ourselves to shift our state of consciousness. Do you realize that's why you pray? You're not praying to change the mind of a reluctant deity to get on good terms with God so that you can change God's mind about you. The presence of God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And we must worship God in spirit and in truth. So we're not seeking to change the mind of the infinite. We are praying to shift our state of consciousness, our energetic vibratory state, to come into vibrational alignment with the all that is. So we begin to vibrate at a higher frequency, and thus, as we're able to maintain that awareness, then there's a manifestation that follows that particular state. We hold the state. Our practice assists us in holding the state of awareness. Therefore, with practice, you can assume the state of prosperity. You can assume the state of abundance. You can assume the state of wellness and well-being. You can assume the state of joy and harmony and wholeness. You can assume these states until there is a match and a response from universal law, and manifestation follows. And so often people are trying to get the goodies from another stage of consciousness before they have been able to hold the state of that stage. In other words, there is changing your state and then embracing the next stage of your unfolding. Let me just break this down for a minute. We are infinite beings, and we're always in the process of unfoldment from one stage to another, and those stages are infinite, by the way. We have broken them down as the victim stage, the manifester stage, the stage of being a channel or a place through which God shines through, and the stage of perfect being. We've broken them down into survival stage, adaptation stage, transformational stage, and this stage of dissolution of the old paradigm once you have begun your transformation. But they're infinite stages, you see. And many people are seeking to have the goodies from the next stage without maintaining that state for any prolonged periods of time. In other words, the caterpillar can't fly. It cannot have the goodies of the butterfly until that inner churning takes place and there is a dissolution of the previous paradigm. And then the next stage emerges and the caterpillar flies as a butterfly, but it crawls as a caterpillar. So in order for you to embrace the next stage of your unfoldment, you must begin to be able to hold a state of awareness. Now, I'm not saying that's easy. I'm saying it's simple. But I'm not saying it's easy. You are bombarded every single day with the lowest common denominator of the human experience. You are bombarded every single day with what's called malicious hypnotism. That if someone is vying for your attention for somebody else's agenda other than your own. It's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. Between that which would keep you flesh-oriented, meaning all you're thinking about is the body temple and protecting it and surviving it, and thus we have to continue to promote fear, doubt, and worry to keep you in a very small state of consciousness, to be afraid so that you can be controlled by external powers and forces, pseudo-powers and forces, I should say. And so it's not an easy thing, you see, because the world of appearances seems so thick. The pollution of polarity and divisiveness seems so thick, but that is a world of appearances, and I'm telling you right here and right now that you can vibrate at a higher state of consciousness. You can absolutely sit down, come back to yourself, fast from the world of effects and circumstances. Pray and fast, pray and fast, pray and fast. Mind fasting is meditation, by the way. Physical fasting is not having food for a particular period of time so your vibration of the body increases. But you fast and pray, fast and pray, fast and pray until you're able to maintain a state. And then ultimately that state lifts your baseline, harmonizing prosperity, wealth, abundance, joy, peace, lifts your vibrational state as you assume the vibrational state of that which you're seeking. Remember, what you're seeking is seeking you, seeking to be expressed through and as you, until what emerges after that is another stage of your unfolding. Now, here's the deal. You plant a particular seed in the soil, the condition is right, the seed will unfold. The caterpillar, through instinct and an inner prompting, will become a butterfly. The chick inside the egg, through an instinctual desire, will begin to peck and come into a new world. You and I are a little different. We have the capacity to think independent of circumstances. We're the image and likeness of God, which means we have to participate in our own unfolding and the evolution of the species. It's not going to just happen. It's going to happen just according to universal law. So you have to practice this. You have to enter into spiritual practice. So if you're tuning into Agape, something within you, that presence that's within you that is awakening is seeking to emerge by means of you and to come into the game of awakening as your primary modus operandi for being on the planet, so that your state changes and then the next stage of you unfolds, so that your baseline of joy and wisdom and harmony and all of these wonderful qualities are not just given to you by God, they are activated by you because they've already been given. The presence of life itself has trusted you with everything that life is. Trusted you with all that life is. It's trusted you with wisdom, trusted you with abundance, trusted you with power, infinite power, trusted you with peace, trusted you with these wonderful qualities that you may be a good steward and have them activated so that you may become more you and allow the presence of God to come into its own as your very life into being. And so you change your state to embrace the next stage of your unfolding, which you must participate in. And so there is change your state, embrace your stage, now engage. Engagement, because you're the image and likeness of God, you have to have some kind of engagement. As I was saying earlier, you can believe that an apple is good for you, but unless you engage in biting it, it's not going to do you any good. You can believe that walking around the track is going to be helpful to you. Walking around your block, a brisk walk amplifies your immune system, creates a level of tonic chemicals going through the body temple, keeps you impervious to disease and things of that particular nature. It's good for you to believe that, but if you're not walking, you're just talking. You can believe that prayer works, but unless you are engaged in prayer to have a spiritual realization of your oneness with the presence of God, it's just a belief system. So there must be some kind of daily engagement in order for you to release the inner splendor that's seeking to express through your life as your life and being. Right now, the next stage of unfoldment and evolution for the species is up for us right now. It's on our proverbial shoulders. And there is a manner of self-righteousness. There is a manner of fear and doubt and worry. There's a manner of being right. There's a manner of other people being wrong. There's a manner of all kinds of mental pollution where individuals are so stuck in their position, they have forgotten the frequency of the next stage of evolution must be about love. You cannot birth the golden age. You cannot birth the beloved community without beloved, without being loved, without being loving. You can be as right as maple syrup on a pancake. I don't know where that came from, but it's pretty good if you like pancakes. Now, you can be absolutely right in your opinion. However, if in fact there's no engagement in the next state of unfoldment, there's no birth of the beloved community. You're just right. You just have an opinion. You have a point of view. And so now with all this pollution going on, vax versus anti-vax, white versus black, Democrats versus Republicans, straight versus gay, all this stuff that's in a cauldron of transformation, and everybody's on one side or another, forgetting that in a round world there are no sides at all, you see? And until someone can rise up and engage in dialogue without being right, if someone can rise up and meet at the place that Rumi describes beyond right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field and I'll meet you there. Unless someone's are able to rise up and embrace the state of the next stage of human evolution, you can be as right as rain in the desert, but you will not compel the next stage to unfold. You'll just be right in your misery. Right in your self-righteousness, you see. And so we want to embrace the next stage of our human evolution. And so we must come to an understanding of what the Dalai Lama meant when he said, if you're always talking, you're only speaking about what you already know, but there must be some listening in order to grow. He didn't say it that way. I kind of rhymed it. That was kind of a Beckwithism. But the point being, if you're always talking, trying to get your point across, there's no listening there. There's no learning. There's no embracing. There's a prejudice against something that someone else is saying, and there's no listening at all, you see. I was sharing in the earlier service when I broached that point earlier, I remembered the story of these particular individuals who were candidating for a spiritual community. They wanted to be the spiritual teacher. The spiritual teacher had retired, and so the selection committee was choosing a new minister. And so they had to do a talk and then be interviewed after. And so this one gentleman had put together a well-crafted talk, and he was waiting for his turn. He was going second, and while he was waiting, he decided to go to the restroom to restore his personal comfort. That's TV talk for, you know what it means. Anyway, he comes back, and the person that was going in front of him had perused his talk while he was gone. And he was listening, and he could hear the guy delivering his talk. He was like, what? This guy's delivering my talk. This is out of integrity. So it was his time to do his talk. He decided to do his own talk anyway. He had written it. He had done the research. And he was hired. And so they said, well, do you have any questions of us? He says, yes. Why did you hire me? I did the same talk that the guy did in front of me. They said, yes, we like that because that showed us you know how to listen. The Spirit of the living God is saying, do you know how to listen? Do you know how to be available? Do you know how to follow? Do you know how to follow the inner prompting? Do you know how to embrace the evolutionary impulse that governs the entire universe of unfolding? So in this awareness, you're changing your state to embrace the stage, but you must engage. I mean, are you aware that right now, right this second, your body changes, every 11, 12 months, you have a different body? That your next body is in the grocery store right now? For some of you, your next body is in the ground, meaning there's vegetables and fruits there. Some of you haven't touched a vegetable in years. She could get on that a little bit. A little spinach is not going to hurt. Okay, I'm being a little like this to you. But it's okay. It's good stuff. Now, do you realize your next body is in the grocery store or in the ground right now? You have to engage in that which is going to mineralize and uplift and heal the body temple. Your next body of your affairs is in your mind right now. Your imagination, as Einstein reminded us, your imagination is the preview to your next manifestation and experience. Are you imagining worst-case scenarios in your life? Are you allowing your imagination to run amok about what to be afraid of? Are you assigning a different power to something outside of yourself? Are you assigning a power to germs? Are you assigning a power to disease? Are you assigning a power to lack, limitation, and scarcity? There is no principle in disease. There is a principle in love. There's a principle in order. There's a principle in harmony. There's a principle in health. There's a principle in well-being. There is no principle in disease. There's only a condition for disease to arise, but there's no principle in it. When you utilize the principles of well-being and the principles of love and the principles of joy, your life will take on the frequency and the vibration of that, and you'll become impervious because you won't be the condition for the negativity. I've seen great metaphysicians fall left and right because they've assigned a power to something outside of themselves. Suddenly, they're no longer metaphysicians. They've given the power to something out there. Ooh, they're scared. Not you. Timothy, it says, let the weak say I am strong. I want you to shout thunder of affirmation and a thunder of the victorious sound about who you are. Hey, what's it going to hurt? Has negative thinking helped you? Has fear? You've tried fear. Has it worked? Ooh, I'm so afraid. Oh, lack, limitation, scarcity, not enough. There's all this stuff going on in the world. I'm so afraid. Has it helped you? So you might, either way, you're going to get what you're putting out, so you might as well have a thunderous vibratory frequency with I am at one with the presence and the power and the love of God, regardless of what the sensorium is feeding back to me, regardless of the evidence of my five senses. I know that God is not mocked, that God is the life of who I am, and I stand in that vibration and frequency until the waters part and I see that I am liberated from my previously limited point of view that I was deluded into accepting by malicious hypnotism of forces that are trying to keep us small. I'll just say this. You have no idea how badass you are. You have no idea. You think you're a little puny something? The entire presence. Nothing missing is in you. But there must be engagement. Without engagement, it's just theory, it's just philosophy. Without engagement, it's just a belief system. And those are building blocks. The belief system is a building block. Yes, theory is a building block. But at a certain point, you've got to engage. You staring at that piece of spinach and dissecting it and coming to an understanding how many minerals and vitamins it has in it is not going to do you any good. You looking at the water and believing that it's wet, it's not going to help you clean your body temple or give you any hydration. You have to engage. You're going to have to drink the water. You have to take a bath. I'm inviting you to up-level your engagement this week. To just be conscious of when the world grabs you. Be conscious of when you're assigning the power to something other than the presence of God. Thus lowering your frequency, inhibiting your state, and then creating the manifestation of that particular state. Doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You just were out of alignment with the fundamental harmony of the universe. You're not a bad person. And on the flip side of that, I heard somebody saying they were going through something. And they said something like, I haven't done anything wrong. Why am I going through this? And I had to subtly remind them that this presence of God is not a respecter of persons. It's not like, there's a law factor here. That you may be a good person, you're paying your taxes, you're stopping at red lights, you're not stealing from people, But if in fact there's an inner cauldron of fear, doubt, and worry, it's an inner cauldron of you imagining all these negative things that could possibly happen, and you're in that frequency, then you can be a good person. But you're already vibrationally experiencing something before it manifests. By law, something is going to outpicture. I want you right now to change your state. That's why you walk around the block. That's why you do breath work. That's why you do your yogic practices. That's why you do your qigong practices, Reverend Julie. This is why you stop. Extract your attention away from the world of effects, circumstances, situations, people, places, things, limited beliefs. You extract, you opt out. And you begin to feel, you assume the state. You assume the state of joy for no reason. Just assume the state. I know your eyes may be saying, oh, there's so much to be, it's nervous making right now. You assume the state, joy. You assume the state, peace. Independent of circumstance, you assume the state, a sense of wellness, a sense of well-being. I'm assuming the state of this. And now I'm living in this state. And I keep coming back to this. I keep coming back to it. And in the beginning, it feels like I'm praying for it, but after a while, I'm praying from it. This is it. And as I maintain this state, the next stage of my unfolding happens, and it doesn't look like anybody else's. We're all unique expressions of infinite potential. So what's supposed to unfold for me in quality may be the same as someone else, but my iteration of it will be of me. Your iteration will be of you, because you're a unique, individualized expression of God, not self-created. You didn't create yourself. It was life itself that poured everything into itself as you. Woo! Please. So then, when the proverbial winds begin to blow, and the seas are tossing the ship hither and yon. Hither and yon, okay. And the disciples are saying, Jesus, listen, man, don't you even care about us? You're taking a nap. The wind is blowing, the seas are tossing us. You're napping. What's happening? Don't you care? In other words, he was cool. It's like, can't touch this. Got up and said, peace, be still. Let the winds and the waves cool out. I want more of that from you. With metaphysicians falling to the left and to the right, I need you. I need you to rise up. We need a community that rises up. And regardless of what's happening in the world, a community that stands in the gap, has the power of discernment, can tell the difference between reality and their opinion. Reality is with a capital R. It's the presence of God. It's forever. It's eternal. It's not temporary. It's not transitional. It's not just everlasting. It's forever. Since I said that, I might as well say what that means. There's everlasting and the eternal, and then there's temporary. Everlasting is something like the pyramids. They're in time, but they're everlasting. They've endured thousands of years. That which is eternal is the presence of God. It doesn't have any time on it. It's just eternal. And then there's the temporary stuff. Fear, doubt, worry, lack, limitation, scare. It's temporary. We need people to stand up and assign power to where power is. Doesn't mean you're not prudent with your safety and your well-being. Doesn't mean you don't take for the body temple proper exercise and proper hydration. Doesn't mean you don't take your vitamin D and your zinc and your vitamin C. Doesn't mean that you don't get good sleep. It doesn't mean. But it means that you're assigning power to power. The one power, the presence of God. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell you, there is a world right beyond the debris of your filters that are preventing you from seeing. It's closer than you're breathing, nearer than your hands and feet. It's so close to you. It's you. Remember the story of the musk? It's the musk deer, the musk elk, that was going on in a feverish pitch trying to figure out where this scent was coming from. And it was sweating, was running, trying to find out where it was, only to discover it was on its own hide. This world is so close. It's not out there. It's right here. It's right here. But you have to engage. If you fall down, you just get back up. You have a bad day, get back up. You have a bad week, you get back up. There's no New Age hell. Well, I had a bad week, I'm going to New Age hell. I'm going to have cold tofu for the rest of my life. No, there's no New Age hell. As soon as you have a fall, that's the hell. When you come back in alignment, it's heaven. So you're not beating yourself up with an ego. Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, you said the wrong thing. Oh, you had negative thoughts. No. You stop and come back. Stop and you come back. You stop and you come back. My mind just said, I love my life. And I want you to know I do. And I want you to know that as I stand here, I see this as a privilege, not a right. Right of consciousness, yes, but a privilege and an honor to stand here week after week, going on 35 years. And watching over the last 35, 40 years that this teaching is becoming embedded within the psyche of our culture. So that seeds have been planted. And for those who are engaging, are creating a vibrational condition for those seeds to burst forward, particularly for individuals who are waking up to the vibration of waking up. Good job. Good job. Good job. And I must say that regardless of how much negativity is being thrown at us, love always wins. The highest vibration always supersedes the lesser use of the law and the lesser frequency. That's a law. Stand pat in the awareness of your oneness with the presence that's never an absence, regardless of what your lying eyes may tell you. State, I'm whole, perfect, complete. All my needs are met, I feel it. Stage, I can't see it yet. From this paradigm, I can't see what it looks like, but I feel it. I yield to it. I'm engaged. I pray. I hang with high-minded people. I eliminate the judgment, the prejudgment, the resentment, the animosity, the putting down of anyone. Even if I disagree with them, I release that. As Ernest Holmes once said, the pile is not complete until we're all in it. I want you to be bold enough to embrace your wholeness. I think that's it. I think it's it for today. No, we got more to come. I'm talking about this portion. That's the meal. We got some other side things coming up. Scrumptious, beautiful. Woo! So this is what happens. As you're able to maintain the state and embrace the next stage of your unfolding, there is a cosmic, ecstatic movement that begins to take place. Ecstasy, bliss. Many people don't have that in their vocabulary. They've opted for pleasure. Nothing wrong with pleasure. But they've opted for pleasure. Pleasure then brings pain, just as excitement. It brings to depression. These are polarities. There's no opposite to bliss. There's no opposite to real celebration, ecstasy. That's your state of being. That's what happens when you have a sustained state and you embrace the next stage of your unfolding. I said I was stopping, but the activation of potential brings bliss. I want you to have that as a direct encounter, a bliss hit. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. And you'll never be satisfied until the baseline of your joy and your bliss and your ecstasy, your peace, your wellness, your well-being, peace of mind keeps being elevated year after year. Woo! And then you become like an astronaut. You carry your atmosphere with you. And when you come to Agape, you're not just coming to get something, you're coming to bring something for those who are coming after you. You go out into the world, you're bringing it. BYOB. Bring your own beauty. You're bringing it. Okay, I said I was stopping. Let's watch this individual dance with Agape right now, just to enter into the moment of celebration. Marquis Monday. Marquis, we see you. Marquis Monday. She's singing too. Can you sing until you feel like singing? Can you dance until you feel like dancing?
God is real.
God is real. Marquis, God bless you. Give Marquis some chatting up there on the line. She's probably tuning in, seeing herself dance, and allowing that cosmic energy to just have flow through her. Now it's on you. Now it's on you, because we're gonna stomp. We're gonna spiritually transcend obstacles, manifest peace, potential, and possibility. That's what stomp is. Okay? Come on, Jack, Glenn. Come on, band.
Stepping out the weekend so wide. Fill it up, let's blast the jams tonight. So while we're cruising around in the street,
Yes.
listen up for the party. Slap me 5, there's a place we've arrived. It's a lie.
What?
Everybody take it to the top, we're gonna stomp all night in the neighborhood.
We're gonna stomp.
Don't it feel alright?
Grace, let me you
all
stomp.
night. Wanna party till the morning light. Oh, running, running, running. Ooh, set is hot, there's people wall to wall. Old ones, young things,
Yeah.
short ones
Uh-oh.
standing
Here comes
tall.
Harper. Mini-me. This is Grace's daughter.
So grab the one with the smile on her face and hit the floor and stay right on the case. The heat is on and the funk just won't leave us
Get on down,
alone. Everybody take it to the top, we're gonna stop, yeah, all night.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the neighborhood,
Yeah.
don't it feel alright? Gonna stop all night. Wanna party till the morning light. Gonna stop all night
Uh-oh.
in the neighborhood.
Daughter's calling mother
Don't it
back on the
feel
stage.
alright? Gonna stop all night. Wanna party till the morning light. Woo! Stop, step down in it and put your feet where you feel the fit. And stop, you don't want to quit, but you're here where you're feeling it. Go back. Ooh, yeah, all night in the neighborhood. Don't it feel alright? Gonna stop all night. Wanna party till the morning light. Stop all night in the neighborhood. Don't it feel
And God's
alright?
neighborhood is everywhere. In the neighborhood. In your neighborhood.
Till the morning
Bring the light to your neighborhood. Stomp
all night
in your neighborhood.
in the neighborhood. Don't it feel alright? Gonna stop all night. Gonna party till the morning light. Hey.
Woo. Stomp. Spiritual. Transcending obstacles. Manifesting peace, potential, and possibility. We're stomping out. Dissolving lack, scarcity, limitation, separation, fear, doubt, worry, mental, emotional pollution. We're stomping it out in the state of bliss. We have vibrationally prepared ourselves to enter into a sacred tryst with the presence that is not an absence. Can you hear that? A presence that's not an absence. Oh, if you just contemplate that for a while, you begin to notice where there might be parts of you that are placing the presence far away in the future or far away from you. It's way up there, way out there. The presence is way out there. And so you've created a mental gap that's not real. The presence is never an absence. The presence is the presence. It's here. And we are presenting ourselves with the presence. We're giving thanks right now that all that the presence has gifted us and trusted us with, we're saying yes to. We're changing our mind where we have to. We're cleansing our heart where we have to. We're clearing our emotional palate where we have to. Oh my God. This is a new beginning. This second, this is a new beginning. I hear, behold, I make all things new. This is our new beginning. Come on home, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let the valleys be exalted. The valleys of despair, the mountains of issues be made low. Let the rough places become smooth and the crooked places straight. Because we've heard that straight is the gate, narrow is the way, narrow is the gate, straight is the way. We've heard that, and yes, that means a level of discipline to be focused until waking up becomes our thing. And then we hear, oh my God, there's a highway. It's no longer just narrow and straight. The highway is a highway in the desert. The desert is a place where there's no distractions. There's no billboard saying, buy this, smell like this. You'll get the car, you'll get the woman on top of the car. There's no distractions. There's a highway in the desert for our Lord, the great law of life to operate through us, the presence of God. Oh, here it is. We're open. We're waking up to waking up. Woo! God. I'm so grateful. Come on, make them feel that, Jacqueline. Give them a little something, house band.
Whatever happened to you, whatever changes you've been through, there's a meaning to it all. We are not victims of circumstance. It happens to give us a chance to change and really grow and to open to God's love deep inside. Therein God's love abides. God will work through an open heart. God will work through an open mind. God will work through an open heart, and God will work through an open mind.
I hear our beloved Florine White on the other side of the veil. She used to scream out, yes, yes, yes. As I was standing backstage, I heard her say, yes, yes, yes. That's what we're saying to our blessings right now. This is what we're saying to the sacred qualities that want to know themselves as our life. We're saying, yes, yes, yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I can. Yes, I am willing. Yes, I am able. Yes, 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 yes. Florine, I hear you. I hear you, Mambo, screaming out. I hear you. And we hear ourselves. Not with ears, but with consciousness. We see, not with eyes, but with our awareness. Now, what are we seeing and hearing?